Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel for another update on Solana. In today's episode, we're going to be focusing on the higher time frames, and specifically, we're going to be looking at Solana through the eyes of the Heikin-Ashi candles. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. You might be wondering, what are Heikin-Ashi candles, how are they calculated, why would traders use them? This is going to take too much time for me to explain in the start of this video, so I actually do have an educational series for reasons like this. If you want to head over to my channel, click on educational playlist and scroll down, you'll find this video, How to Heikin-Ashi Candles, where I explain everything you need to know about them. But more or less, we look at Heikin-Ashi candles and traders look at Heikin-Ashi candles because they're much more characterized when we're in uptrends or downtrends. For example, if we look at the uptrend that was witnessed in the 2020/2021 bull run, you can pretty much separate the bullishness into one clear set of uptrending uptrending candles, and then you can see, you've got another segment of uptrending candles. But then you head over to the Japanese candlesticks and you can start to see, there could have been many times where you could have been faked out on this market before the absolute top, whereas if you were trading this based on the Heikin-Ashi candles, you wouldn't have missed out on too much. Now, why do I want to update you on the Heikin-Ashis today? Well, I've seen something pretty brutal that I definitely need to discuss, and this starts when we're analyzing from the previous all-time high. Now, once again, remember on the weekly time frame or on any time frame, we're looking at these Heikin-Ashi candles because they help us smoothen out the trend. You can very clearly see from the all-time high down to the low, there's been only 1, 2, 3, 4 times that we've broken bullish on the weekly Heikin-Ashis, whereas if we go over to the Japanese candlesticks, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times we've broken bullish while we've been in a macro downtrend. So, really looking at these Heikin-Ashis is a great way to smoothen out the trend and understand where we are in the greater picture. And what I want to highlight is, since the all-time high, we had a 43.5% downtrend until our first green candle. We had 2 weeks worth of green Heikin-Ashi candles, and then we got bearish continuation. As soon as the red candle came in, we dropped about 63.2%. And then, what do you know, we had another couple of green candles. What happened after these green candles turned red? Well, they basically almost, within the next couple of months, they went down another 82%. What happened after the weekly Heikin-Ashi candles turned green over here? Well, you can see after they broke to the downside, we were witnessing a 38.4% pump down. Now, what I want to let you know now is on the higher time frames, on the weekly, we are still bullish on the Heikin-Ashi candles, which is concerning considering how, looking at Bitcoin looks like it wants to fulfill this BART pattern. It looks like it wants to go down to at least 18,700 in the short term. Higher time frames, oscillators, everything's heading down for Bitcoin, so it's really not looking good on that front. And when you pair this with the fact that, the daily time frame is starting to play out doji candles showing indecision, which are often seen at the end of trends or at the bottom of trends as signs of reversals. 4-hourly time frames, Heikin-Ashis have already started to flip bearish. So I really just wanted to give you a warning sign. This is definitely not one of the most bullish ones. Like I said, without fail, you can see from the all-time high, the most conservative drop we've had has been 38% after the Heikin-Ashi candles turn red. And then you also have to remember, if we're drawing out something like a 38% drop from where we're at now, we're obviously going to be breaking down into new lows, and a 38% drop from where we are now is going to take us down to $24. Now, I know I said I wouldn't do any TA in the short term, and I guess this isn't really TA in the short term, but I will also let you know my bear market low price targets if you're new. I've been predicting for $10/9. I'm not going to discuss why in this video. I will in another video when we look at the lower time frames, Fibonacci's, all my price targets. We will re-go through these, but I've made many videos in the past couple of months on Solana talking about why I think it's going down to $10. Once again, I've been making these videos since much higher price targets, so if you think this is bearish now at 35, believe me, people thought it was more bearish at 95, but it is what it is. At this moment in time, that's really all I've got to update you over on Solana. Really not looking good. That specific price target that I mentioned for you is going to be where we would have to close above to be bullish on the weekly Heikin-Ashis. And like I said, it's a little bit more complicated than opening halfway through the previous candle body close. We also take into consideration things like the wicks to the upside and the downside, but more or less, it's basically 99.99% right in the middle of the previous candle body. And with that being said, on the weekly time frame, if you do see Solana open the next weekly candle on Monday of next week below $34.60, you are going to be breaking beneath the lows of the weekly time frame on the Heikin-Ashis, and you should then be expecting a lot of continuation to the downside. If you're a little bit more conservative than me, if you are looking for a little bit of hopium, then we also do have weekly candle body closes all the way down here at 31.40, but I'd be lying if I said that was the level I'd be looking at. I'm looking at the level that I just let you know, 34.40, round about that region. If Solana starts opening Monday beneath 34 specifically, it's going to be curtains. So that's really all I've got for you for Solana. I will also show you the monthly time frame, and this is one thing that I do want to point out that I'm going to be looking for things like the Bitcoin bottoms, the altcoin bottoms. Everyone has been telling me for the past 6 months or so, if you do not DCA in now, if you don't DCA all the way down, if you don't keep on DCA, you're going to miss the bottom. We're going to explode in terms of altcoins. You're never going to be able to buy altcoins this cheap again. However, if you're looking at things like the monthly time frame or even the weekly Heikin-Ashis for Bitcoin, and you look back at when these things bottom, I think we can all agree that if you bought the first breakout on the weekly or the monthly Heikin-Ashi candles after the Bitcoin bottom was in, you were buying for dirt cheap. And even after it turned green, even after it closed, even after it was all the way up here after a monthly candle body close in the bullish territory, we proceeded to have a 1,350% pump. Less impressive than the 2,100% pump that you would have caught from low to high if you were buying the exact bottom. But do you have a crystal ball? Can you buy the exact bottom? If you can, feel free to hit me up over on Twitter. I will send you some free merchandise if you can sort out that crystal ball. Monthly time frame though, I do not expect this to start turning around at any point soon, but I do expect continuation. I would definitely say at least waiting for the weekly time frame to start flipping back bullish would be at least what I'm looking at before I would even get short-term bullish on Solana. Monthly, 3 monthly, 6 monthly, whatever you're looking at, they all look pretty bad, and they all look like they want to start pushing beneath the floor and making new lows. That's all I've got for you for this episode of Solana, looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All I've got for you for this episode, my friends, and as always, cowboy out. Peace.